Give it a second.
Maybe.
Intriguing.
Yes. Okay. Everybody came back.
All right. Brave new setup we're trying out here. Hi, everybody out there in Streamland. We are live from the Apocalypse, where we play tabletop role-playing games to benefit nonprofits, aid organizations, and other charitable causes. We just ask that if you like what you see here, and we do hope that you like what you see here, that rather than subscribing or giving us bits or any of the normal fake Jeff Bezos corporate script stuff, that you take that money and you donate it directly to the organizations that we are fundraising for. This stream is part of our campaign that is raising money for the First Nations Development Institute, which is a nonprofit that works to restore economic independence to Indigenous communities. So if at any point you would like to donate, you can type !donate in the chat. Our bot will post the link, and you can make the McElroy brothers shout at us and interrupt whatever very serious scene we were having at the time. We also have a variety of channel points and such you can use to unlock our emotes without subscribing, as well as to interact with and influence the stream in other ways. I think that does cover most of the upfront housekeeping. So I suppose, without further ado, we can get into. Nope. Peach disagree.
Peach wants to do an intro.
Peach does a disagree about it. So Peach jumping the gun a little bit with the introductions there, but I am, Peach, going to start. Right, exactly. Down on the left side of the screen with Will.
That is me. Hello. Hi, my name is Will. I play Julian Rue. This guy over here with his Pokemon. He is an ex-Team Rocket member. He is now a chef living his dream and his best life, or at least he was before all this crazy shit started happening in his city. When I am not Julian, I am doing other things on this channel for the most part. I do a lot of stuff, but you can find me on social media at WillMScream, and follow the channel if you're not already doing that. Heather.
Let's see if I can do this without a dog barking. Maybe. Hi, I'm Heather. I play Estelle East, who is the widow of the previous gym leader, and now we are revitalizing the gym. And I'm not saying this is her method of grieving, but it is definitely her method of protecting her husband's legacy. Estelle is a childless woman who is basically playing mom to the entire island, and also just occasionally bringing down corporate evils. I think we've established she's into weird espionage and rescuing Pokemon and a lot of other dark things, but we're not going to ask where she learned.
Noted eco-terrorist Estelle East.
Yes, eco-terrorist Estelle East. She also collects very disturbing Pokemon, which everyone in our group is very thankful for, I'm sure, at this point. And other than that, she's just trying to save the island, fix the situation with the missing numbers, and make sure her boys don't die.
Speaking of those boys.
Yep. I am Liz. I play one of aforementioned boys, Billy Baker, who is, by my count, the only member of this group who has not threatened some form of terrorism during this campaign. And is also the gym leader. So, that's probably why. Responsibilities. Other than that, that's the only thing I'm doing on the channel right now that we've talked about, I think. So that's basically just me and Billy. And then my social media is up above. Sometimes I talk about games. It used to be a lot more. I still do sometimes. You can hang in for those. But yeah, that's me.
I want to argue with you, but I can't. You're correct.
I know, I was thinking about it really hard. I was like, has Billy ever threatened you? No, we're just the left and the left hand of the king, apparently.
Yeah. Brendan.
And I guess that brings it up here to me. It is I, Brendan, your game master, your architect of misery and befuddlement. I do things here. That's mostly what I do. I run this here Pokemon game that has been going on for a minute at this point. I also play Alex Sandowski, aka Victory, over on our Masks Actual Play podcast that records every other Sunday. And I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I ran Crypto Community College. That is all up on the podcatcher of your choice. You should go check that out. It's a Monster of the Week game that is very fun and cool. Also involves 2 to 3 players of this here game. It's a very cool, very neat thing. Spooky in a generally different way from the way that this is sometimes spooky. Arguably both. I don't know. I will put this to the group for Will and Heather. Is Missing Numbers or C3 more horrifying?
Remember, Mr. Mime. That's all.
That is legitimate.
Also, Jinx now.
Yeah. Make a good point.
I did work really hard to somehow make Jinx even more uncomfortable last session.
I'm gonna for the anime tongue Jinx, I'm gonna give it to Missing Numbers.
I feel like Missing Numbers is more cosmic horror to me, and then we're more weird funguses. Oh God, these dogs are gonna eat us horror over at C3. So like, there's fungus gods. Also, there's more cult talk. I feel like at C3,
but it's very whimsical because we're making fun of Harper the whole time.
I know, but at some point I expect the cult to actually become a danger to us.
Give it a season,
Caesar's outside.
If you want to find out, you'll have to listen to season 2.
It is a fantastic season.
Also, point of clarity, I'm going to argue you made Jinx more terrifying. More uncomfortable is a bold claim given Jinx's origins.
Oh, C3 is Cryptid Community College. Sorry. Yeah, we started calling it C3 because it's a mouthful to say Cryptid Community College.
Yep.
Say it 3 times fast. I dare you.
No. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that brings us to picking up with our 3 intrepid trainers. As you guys were exiting the hospital after I suppose technically speaking it's like the same night that it's like that the last 2 sessions all went down.
Yes.
So yeah, honestly, I'm just gonna put that ball in your court. What do you guys want to do? You want to go get a sandwich? Like, what do you feel like doing?
Go exact vengeance on the guy who abused Jinx. I think we were out for.
We could do both. I could make a sandwich.
I was going to play the Reigns of Castamere and just go for it. So.
Yeah, honestly, that sounds like the plan. Probably. Does anybody know where he is? I don't.
I think we
have to save Kaz at some point, or find some way to make his distressed Pokemon not burn down the gym. Because we did put a lot of work into that.
Yeah.
Also, it literally only just occurred to me now that we have both an NPC in this game and a PC in Academy H, both named Kaz.
Oh, we sure do.
Because for a second you're talking about Kaz, and I was like, wait, we're not talking about Master. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Yes, that NPC that I done made.
Kaz Grabbins.
Indeed. I would be fine with let's go find vengeance and then we'll go release Kaz. That seems like the proper order of things, right? Yeah.
Vengeance, what you're nicknaming vengeance.
Vengeance is here. So I feel like just in terms of, economy of motioning through space.
I mean, really isn't vengeance where the heart is?
Again,
vengeance is where the heart's removed.
I just feel like vengeance is the nickname Estella is giving the Jinx.
And then you're gonna let this Jinx go in unrelated battle, just be like, go. Vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
Vengeance. No, I thought I called my sister in to help the Jinx get back up into the mountains and kind of like recuperate a bit.
So I think I'm going to say, it's a good jumping off point. You got your sister's voicemail and left a message, but you have not heard back from her.
Okay. Well, I hate that because it means I can't bring down fire. So in that case, technically the best thing to do is take care of this Pokemon. That's the most important thing. Which means we should probably, if you all want to, we can stay here and do the thing. But if not, we should probably get this Pokemon back to somewhere they can be safe and not harmed, and find out what's going on with Kaz Kravitz.
That's fine. Just tell me where I'm driving. Up the mountain, I'm assuming?
I'm gonna ask the Jinx whether they prefer to come back to the gym with us or whether they'd prefer to go up to the mountains and up to my sister's place.
I would say that you're pretty good at sort of empathetically reading Pokemon, and you tend to get a more positive response from the mountains.
Well, I know it's a little inconvenient, but if you wouldn't mind, and she just points up to the mountains.
Fine.
On the way, tell me again about what happened to Cass. Who do we have any hints about where this person is?
I mean, we're not sure they're a person,
What?
to be
what else?
honest.
I thought you said they beat you in a Pokemon battle.
Yeah, kinda, but they cheated, so...
I'm not even sure
but they used
where.
Eldritch Horror, so I'm not sure if that counts. I'm not sure if that's illegal in a Pokemon battle.
It's not in the rules.
Where might not even be the operative term. They kind of just appeared, and then they kind of just vanished. I don't know
All
if
right.
they play by normal rules.
Well, that would have to take a powerful psychic Pokemon or a powerful psychic. Let's get up the mountain and I'll call my oldest sister and we'll see if maybe she felt something.
The professor seemed to, and when you were speaking to the professor seems to indicate that that trainer, probably at least at one point in time, was a person. Whether or not they are still technically a person exists somewhere uncomfortably in the superposition.
All right. And I'm assuming you guys convey that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well then, we have a person who might not be a person anymore and might be a Pokemon. We have a person who was put into a Pokeball, and we don't really know what that's going to do to them. And we have... They also, you said, used a missing number in the battle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Mr. Mime, could I have my blood pressure medicine?
Mr. Mime.
Mr. Mime. Yeah, I know.
Chad asked a valid question. Brendan, did Kaz register in the Pokedex, and how many additional mysterious follow-up silhouettes were added to the Pokedex as well?
Is it more than 3?
Is this Kaz's final form?
Yes.
The tough questions.
Important questions. Like, gotta know what we're going up against. If he evolves before we go into battle, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Who's that
Exactly.
Pokemon? It's a human being.
Does going to therapy count as leveling up as a Pokemon? What? How do you do that? No, okay.
I feel like it definitely counts as like, Pokemon wishes to learn cognitive behavioral therapy. Should an old move be forgotten to make room for cognitive behavioral therapy?
Yes.
Yeah, but like, what if all those moves are moves that you like really, really like unhealthy but really satisfying coping mechanisms?
See, that's where you have to like, you can use them. All coping mechanisms are unhealthy if you overuse them. You got to identify when you're doing that.
Yeah, but I gotta forget one of them so I can learn the CBT move. Like I know that it's running this meta, but man, I don't know.
And that's assuming it's effective,
Yeah.
Could be.
You don't even know.
Could be not very effective.
You could get a new coping mechanism, doesn't work at all. It'll be like, new coping mechanism, go to the gym. And you're just like, I feel worse now.
It's like, I'm trying to exercise. It's not very effective.
Turns out you have to use that one every time in order to get more effective at it.
Yeah, it's one of those that builds in power, which the battles are too short to ever really be relevant.
That was literally
By the
me.
time it caught up with my level, I'd just be like, it's like, that's a waste of time.
That was literally me when I threw my back out deadlifting that one day.
Mm-hmm.
Used deadlift. It was not very effective.
It was not very effective. Damage in the recoil.
I went home and I stayed in bed for a week.
Oh no.
Will hurt himself in his confusion.
Yeah, I sure did.
Okay, well, now that we've made fun of humanity sufficient amount, we should probably get on with this Pokemon thing.
Right. You are making your way up to where you know that Cell Sister's place is up in the mountains, up near the village that is a ways north of Esper Bay, up around Cliff Town. And it's pretty late at night. Street lights are all on everywhere. Most house lights are out. It's not particularly unusual that you're not seeing a whole lot of people around. Like you stop at a recharging station to juice up your truck, and before you head up the mountain a ways, and pretty desolate. Don't see anybody. It's a little bit more concerning when you see a bus just sort of stopped in front of you.
What type of bus?
It is a sort of just a passenger bus. It is the one that you recognize that runs up and down the mountain between Esper Bay and Clifftown. It is currently idling in the lane in front of you.
Do we see anyone on the bus?
At least looking in the back windows, you don't see the heads of anybody sitting in like the back row.
Can I do a psychic at it?
Sure.
Can I do a psychic at it? Let's. Do I have? Okay, so I guess I'm gonna use actual psychic with Mr. Mime. So and then my empathy, if that's cool. And we're just gonna, Mr. Mime, can you feel anything from the bus?
There's one of the things I've always found kind of amusing about the move psychic. Like it tells you basically nothing about what it is. It's like it is they used the concept of being psychic.
Be psychic at it.
I mean, Psybeam is just like psychic directionally.
I mean, yeah, but there's at least like a suite of various beams. You're like, okay, so it's like an energy beam that just happens to be made of a different and distinct form of energy, because that's a thing apparently.
Cool.
But yeah, psychic. It's like, I don't know, be psychic about it.
Be psychic about it. I be psychic about it, and I got a 10 combined.
Do the psychic.
I did the psychic.
You guys do the psychic, and you aren't hearing any kind of surface level thoughts or anything from the bus.
I mean, really, I'm just glad that I didn't have another stroke or something from
Yeah, no, you
accidentally psyching a missing number.
you do not inadvertently unearth like the missing number that was like hanging out in the bed of the truck or anything.
Yeah, that's good.
Just yeah.
I don't.
As far as you can tell, you think this is an empty bus.
I don't feel anybody inside. It looks like it's empty. Do you see any tracks? Would they have gone into the woods, maybe?
I can drive past it, and then we can stop and reevaluate, but maybe we'll be able to see if there's anybody inside it.
Yeah, pulling up around the other side of it, it's like it's not pulled off to the side of the road. It is just stopped in the middle of the lane. And it is idling, and there is nobody in it, seems like.
Do they bother to put their hazards on?
Billy's Boy Scout senses are tingling. That's a hazard.
It's not very safe. I'm just saying they really should have. I mean,
Yeah.
I think, in an emergency, you're always supposed to hit the button.
I mean, we could keep driving. We don't have to stop. This seems like a trap, right? I'm just saying what we're all thinking.
It does seem like a trap, yeah. And we did just literally walk out of a trap. So it seems like maybe not the best idea to just charge right into another one.
Oh, see, I wasn't thinking trap. I was thinking people had been eaten by a missing number, and perhaps we should see if there was anyone surviving.
It could be both. It could be both.
Well, one of those things I'd like to help the people is that just Mr. Mom just puts her back to the car. Well, if they're there when we come back, we'll stop, yes?
Yep.
Okay.
Sure will.
I mean, you didn't pick up any people. It didn't sense any people. I hate to say it, but if the missing numbers got them, like, I don't know if us being there will help.
Good point.
Best thing we can do is try and stop this whole thing.
If they're gone, it's already too late.
Do we still have the Pokeballs that are supposed to be able to turn the missing numbers back?
We've got champion balls.
Did you try one in the battle against the missing number?
I genuinely don't remember. That was like 2 months ago.
You did. In fact, you captured it, and it is with you currently.
Oh, I meant the one with the weird psychic that took Kaz.
No, that is what I'm referring to.
Oh, you captured their Pokemon.
Apparently, and I didn't put it on my sheet.
What do you have now?
You have not opened the champion ball, so you don't know.
Oh, that's true. Okay. Yeah, look, I didn't really want it. So I haven't checked.
Oh.
I mean, in your defense, you immediately had an unconscious and unresponsive Estelle, and then you got attacked on the way to the hospital, and then you got attacked at the hospital.
I also
it's been a night.
I did not want it. That would put me at 5 Pokemon, and that's getting into main character territory, and Julian has no interest in that.
Billy needs a new Pokemon.
Yeah.
Billy hasn't had a Pokemon in a minute. I've got a new Pokemon. You've got a new Pokemon. We need Billy to get on there.
Billy has a whole bunch of reliable, well-loved Pokemon that do not have severe trauma, and is kind of happy with that.
Gosh.
All right, look, we do have more champion balls. We have all the ones that we got from the game corner, but
have they been altered?
I think so, right?
I'm gonna say yes. That sounds like a thing the professor had time to do and gave to you in a scene that we definitely had on stream. And if we didn't, it happened conveniently off screen when nobody was looking.
So shut up. if you're watching this, you disagree.
You don't know. We're missing an entire episode. It could have happened there.
Yeah.
Pretend.
Yes,
it did,
exactly.
in fact.
Yeah, right. Yes, even though they were spending that episode getting the thing the professor needed to actually make the adjustments. But no, it happened right at the very end though. Like they got him
It
the
did.
thing, and then he immediately said, "Yes,
Immediately.
okay, cool. Now I've immediately made a bunch
Oh,
of these
man.
champion balls, and I gave them to you, and nobody can prove that we're wrong."
Yep.
This is so perfect now. Anytime we need to retcon something, we could just say it happened in the
Just
lost
say it happened
episode.
in the episode. The
No,
last
you guys-
episode.
You guys remember at the end of that episode, Mr. Mime had a vision of the future, or actually it was Dottler had a vision of the future through Future Sight that just
Mhm.
revealed all these important plot points. And once we had revealed them there, we feel like we didn't need to put them on screen again. So,
Right. Yes, no.
if anything doesn't line up plot-wise, it was seen in Dottler's vision, and really you just would have had to have been there for that episode.
It's true. The only thing, I mean, it is kind of a shame that people will have to miss the episode that we blew most of our special effects budget
true.
on, though it did cause all of those seizures in chat. So that maybe for the best
You know
in
what
the
it
grand
is?
scheme of
Probably.
things.
I feel like we just took too much inspiration from Boba Fett, where like Mandalorian came in and they blew that budget on that one episode. We should have seen that maybe that was a mistake and just not done it. But I really enjoyed the lasers. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, that's enough of that bit.
Okay. I'm sure I got more
Look,
Star Wars jokes.
Save it for your TikTok. You
No.
gotta bring it back.
I can't argue with the internet about Star Wars anymore.
No, that's fair.
Okay, no, good.
You're really gonna do this, huh?
Let a Pokemon out of the Pokeball?
No, just go to the empty, abandoned car. Or are you actually gonna let us drive?
Oh no,
away?
I had Mr. Mime put Estelle back in the car. It's like
Okay.
you guys don't seem into it. I'm not gonna force you. So like Mr. Mime puts her back in the car and
I mean,
Mime's
Julian will
fucking
hand the
seatbelt.
champion ball. Julian will hand the champion ball to Estelle and say, "Look, if you want to make friends, feel free, but I don't want it."
Well, I think we should probably do that once we're somewhere a little bit more settled, maybe up at my sister's house. Let's just continue up the road. I think we're all a little bit tired, and I'm only thankful that I'm not in a hospital gown right now. Those things are drafty.
I don't think Julian would point it out, but if we're going up the mountain, isn't this the same drive we took in the first episode? Like the first time
Correct.
the three of us were together?
Correct.
Mhm.
Cute.
Hi, puppy. You okay?
Yeah, he's-
Hopefully it ends better. Probably not, but you never know.
We have
That ended with
weapons.
us driving away as fast as we could. That seems pretty likely.
It is a solution that we turn to often. Memories all
Well, Julian is just
along
gonna
the road.
Keep driving.
Okay. Well, you continue making your way up to Estelle's sister's place, and you looking for Edith. There we go. Finally, I keep forgetting the name. Edith's house.
It's all e-names.
Yeah, it's all well that
Which makes it
in
so
some-
easy.
That is in some respects makes it easier, and in some respects does not.
Have I used Edwina yet? Just
Don't think
throw
so,
that one
actually.
out there. Yeah.
Remember
I
in
mean,
the
we have
lost
established
episode,
there are a lot of them, so
remember in the lost episode when we found out that all of the East siblings' names had been mixed up, and so if you hear us say the wrong E name, that's because of that episode.
oh,
Well,
yes,
it's that
yes,
we have too many
naturally.
twins in the family, so they like to swap names in that weird twin way and like try to fool everyone in the family, even though we all technically have the same NPC face. It's fine.
Yes,
This was all revealed in the hot spring scene.
Yeah.
So you arrive at Edith's house, and all the lights are out.
Is it normally this dark here? It's probably not normally this
No.
dark here.
Well, she's like a super psychic, right? Maybe she just doesn't need to see.
Where we're
That-
going.
I mean-
We
That's
don't
how that
need
works,
eyes
right?
to see.
I mean, I will admit, there was some training about that, but we don't usually do that at home. So let me, I'll just, and I like go knock up to the door. It's rude, to just psychically poke at someone's house without announcing yourself. You'll get weird, nasty surprises.
You knock on the door, and you wait. And you wait. And you wait.
Can I do a psychic ping? I'm pretty
Sure.
sure they're not there, but I'm just gonna do it for the in characters. Boop. Boop. No, that's a failure. Bink.
You have not had a lot of luck, pinging your sister, but then again, she was always very good at hiding from you. But
Go see
peeking
champion.
peeking in the window, you can see Edith's old-fashioned answering machine is blinking with an unheard message. You would be willing to bet it is presumably the message that you just left for her.
Is her car still here?
It is.
I'm gonna go inside. Quick question, because I'm trying to remember the conventions. When missing numbers absorb and or eat people's, do they take all knowledge of them, or is it like also their evidence that they existed in the world?
So the evidence is somewhat conflicting. The implication based on what Charlie Geller told you was that when they ate somebody, they removed their ability to exist in the world. You forgot about them completely, and anytime that if they were able to get out of wherever they came from temporarily, if they interacted with you, you would immediately forget that it happened. However, in that same conversation, Charlie Geller did also say that the fact that Julian was able to interact with and remember this conversation that he was having with Charlie Geller, maybe indicated that things were changing or accelerating.
Right. So I'm just gonna use the spare key going, because I have a bad feeling that my sister has been eaten.
Yep. That's right. It's spooky. You enter the darkened house, you turn on the lights, and look around, and no one seems to be there. There is one strange thing, though. The stove is still on. There is a kettle that is on it. It looks like it was at one point being put on for tea, though at this point all of the water in it has since evaporated.
I'm gonna turn it off. Do the boys follow me into the house?
Oh,
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
no, I'm not letting you go by yourself.
We
Okay.
literally just had a whole episode about rushing you to the hospital.
Yeah.
You're on heavy duty watch.
So Estelle gets the spare key out, opens up the front door into the kitchen. Billy and Julian are already inside the kitchen somehow.
Why don't you
Where
take
do
a
you think you're
seat?
going?
Yeah,
We're
where do you
just
think you're going,
constantly
Granny?
looming over your shoulders like
Yeah.
bouncers.
How you feeling? Your heart all right? Why don't you sit down?
That's right. I see Daisy using growl. My attack
Daisy
has
used growl.
My
and
attack
it
has
is-
fallen.
It's ineffective because she's doing it to no one. I don't know.
Well, I can't hear it, so that's a good
Yeah.
sign.
So I guess we'll I think she just sits down and she looks around and she kind of has this feeling like everyone in the mountains is gone. And she doesn't want to say it out loud, but like her face does go very white, and there is I need to sit down. Like,
What's wrong? You sense something?
I don't sense anyone. These mountains aren't very populated anymore, but there are people that have lived here their whole lives. And I don't sense them. And actually, can I do a roll and see, do I sense any Pokemon other than the ones that are with us as well?
Sure, go for it.
Can I, since we've been boosting with our Pokemon, can I aid Estelle?
Yeah.
Do, like, my aura stuff?
Yeah, sounds good. Do it. See what happens.
Okay, I was gonna do it with Mr. Mime, but let me get that off then. Roll. If you're helping, we're just psyching at it. 6. Nice. Let me explode
7.
mine. So that's total of 8 for me and 7 for Billy.
Well, you guys basically both sort of settle into a sort of a meditation exercise that the espers have used for a long time to sort of kind of cast a wide web out to just sort of like, it's almost sort of a calibration exercise that helps center your psychic powers, but also has the knock-on effect of being able to generally sense any minds in a surrounding area. Estelle, you've been doing this since you were a little girl. Billy, you only learned this fairly recently from Estelle's creepy oldest sister.
And I think Billy is kind of aided by his Pokemon. So I was thinking of what they're doing during this, and I imagine, like, as Billy's sitting down to do this to focus, Shiloh's sitting next to him with the same, like, cross legs, like folded focus, and then Ling Ling is slowly chiming, and Aster's like amplifying that kind of like slow chiming from like their horns.
And by your powers combined, you have been able to do a good kind of sweep, you think, of the surrounding area. And as far as you can tell, you are completely alone.
Oh. This is moving much faster than we thought.
Yeah, they're all gone. We should probably get home quickly.
Are we leaving Jinx here? Sorry, Vengeance.
No, I don't think we are. I'm sorry, dear, but I don't think it's safe to stay here. I think something's bad is happening, and I don't think it's a good idea. She just sort of like pats the Jinx's hand and like, yeah, I guess we should go down the mountain and check and see if the town's still there.
Up the mountain, down the mountain.
Think of all the miles on your poor baby.
It's true. She's not long for this world.
Julian, you gave Estelle the Pokeball, right? Or are you still holding it? The one from the missing number we got?
He definitely offered it to Estelle, if Estelle took it.
Sure.
I think Billy's going to walk over to Estelle. I think we might need all the help we can get. I'm just going to stick his hand out.
I'll give it to you. You're taking a new Pokemon?
He's going to walk outside and just kind of toss it to the ground and see what comes out.
Okay. In a sort of flash of light, you are standing in front of a sort of a small, chubby bear that looks like it is on fire.
But are there pictures?
Give me a second.
Yay!
It's the legendary Pokemon Fire Bear.
Tummy Rubskins.
Tummy Rubskins.
I don't remember. Is Teddy Rubskin? Was it
Teddy
Ruxpin?
Ruxpin is the
Ruxpin? Yeah. There you go. And all
Give
I
Bear?
picture is Teddy Rubskin, but or like the Care Bears with like a fire sword.
whatever name this thing has, it's not as good as Tummy Rubskin.
You know, that's fair. What it does,
Fire Bear.
what it does say to Billy is Honoguma.
Honoguma.
Tummy Rubskin.
Mm-hmm.
Honoguma.
Honoguma. Trying to find a good picture of it.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay. It looks like a Pikachu made of fire.
Yeah, it does look like that first attempt at like recreating Pikachu again. So it's Red Shoe. What's the Meryl's?
Blue.
Yeah, Pika Blue. So it's Pika Red.
I love it.
100%
I want
it is.
5.
I'm seeing if I can throw it up on the screen real fast. One sec.
It is adorable.
How
It
does
is
it
very
manage to
cute.
look less angry than Pikachu? Do you think like Pikachu was supposed to be one? Like, is it like the?
I mean,
Is it like a
every
Vulpix?
iteration of Pikachu definitely has an attitude pretty much out the gate in any
Right.
sort of media form.
Mm-hmm.
It is
There
true.
it is. Tummy Rubskin.
Tummy Rubskin.
I think Billy was kind of like nervous, anxious, like trying to be very like stiff and like we got to do
I'm
this, but like
cool,
nervous,
I'm
anxious,
cool.
and then that thing pops out and like there's the flash of light, and then like as the light kind of like settles and it's just that there's like a kind of delayed reaction, and then his eyes just shoot up. It's like, oh look at you! Oh hey there, buddy. He's gonna kind of like get down on level and like I think maybe in his pockets he has some leftover something that Julian has pulled out for the Pokemon at some point
Soup.
that he just
Soup.
yeah, he pulls out a little teeny like sandwich Ziploc bag of soup that he holds out to the little bear.
Yeah, nope. And the bear does it a very good slurp. Makes a variety of adorable noises. While it does that, it glows kind of like hot coals.
I've only known Honoguma for 2 seconds, but if anything happened to it, I would kill everyone in this room and then myself.
Right? It is that adorable, honestly. I'm kind of like, I want one. Although I still hate the soup thing. Mostly, you know what my big problem with the soup thing is? Every time we say it, I picture, basically like the boba tea straws.
Mhm.
Like you'd have to drink it with a boba tea straw.
Yeah,
I mean, you
absolutely
say
do.
that like it's a bad thing.
Yeah. I thought
I
that was just
also-
understood.
I'm seeing an unexploited market.
I also just for some reason am always picturing something that has the texture and color of chowder,
Yes.
which isn't helping either.
Absolutely.
Well, because it
Yeah.
was a chowder.
So was
Chowder.
it chowder? Okay, I didn't.
I
didn't
think it was like
imagine
a
that.
potato soup
Yeah,
or so. Or like
it was a potato
potato-
leek soup, which is basically
Yeah.
a chowder.
It's basically a creamy soup.
Yeah.
With chunks of things in it.
That's why you need the big soup straw.
Yes, the big straw, for your soups.
So that you get those potato chunks caught in the straw.
Yeah.
That's Julian's gonna have to start like branding those and selling them. They have Julian pointing on the wrapper, and it just says "for your soups."
Soups. Oh no. Why? I like how everybody muted themselves but me when they were laughing uncontrollably. No. I
Well,
hate
that's
it.
very cute. I don't know if it's gonna, come in handy, but
For your soups.
it's very
Oh.
cute.
I'm sure it can fight. You could probably fight, can't you, buddy?
Oh, fire types are always useful. You know that, Julian.
Honoguma, your voice doesn't sound anything like what I would expect it to.
That's not me doing a Hanaguma. It's me doing it still.
No, that was in response to Brendan doing the Honoguma.
I don't know. I can't. I to try and I'm not good at doing Pokemon
I
voices.
like
I'm
it
not,
as a character choice.
I'm not when I was in 5th grade, I did a lot of Pokemon impressions and I was very good at them. But then puberty happened.
Hana,
Extremely fair.
Hanaguma. Hana.
That's just
Come on.
Stitch, and you know
It
it.
is just
That's
Stitch.
the same thing. I love that. I love Stitch,
Listen,
but that
it
is
is
Stitch.
not. It is not technically copyrighted. It's just a way to do
True.
a voice. Hanaguma. What? I
Canon.
don't know. What would it say?
No, I think it sounds like Stitch now. It's canon.
Just no. I've made like 8 things. I made Andy do a Stitch voice for his bat, and he
Yeah.
scarred everyone, and they donated in order to get him to stop. So,
I remember.
it's great.
Yeah. Well, Billy, after doing that, takes the Pokeball, just like, well, you aren't gonna need this anymore, and shrinks it away and puts it in his pocket, and then sticks his hands out. He's like, okay to pick you up, buddy?
It does like the up thing.
The uppies?
Yep.
Oh no.
I love that Billy is all about the consent. Like,
And on a farm with big Pokemon, you ask before anything.
oh, smart.
And yeah, they're just gonna
There's
pick him up.
Mudsdales on that farm. Mudsdales are inexplicably the literal heaviest Pokemon.
Yeah, you do not. You loudly declare your presence from like 15 to 20 feet away. You walk very slowly.
More than whalers or whatever they are. Like the
I believe so.
I think Whalmer
Yeah.
is longer, but Mudsdale's way more.
Yeah. It's one of those weird little like Pokemon quirk things.
Yeah.
2,028 pounds.
Yep. No,
Jeez.
you sneak up behind a Mudsdale, like you're not gonna get kicked, you're gonna get atomized.
I found out a lot of the primordial Pokemons, like the fossil ones, are super heavy too.
Which makes sense.
Okay, that's better. Whale Mur is only 200 pounds. I was be like, that's absurd. But Whale Lord is 877 pounds,
Still less than a
distributed
Mudsdale.
across 47 feet.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mudsdale is 2,000 pounds in 7 feet.
Right. It's because Mudsdales have skeletons made of depleted uranium.
It's the only
That's just
explanation.
that's just how they evolved.
Yeah.
That's just the science of it. You can't argue with the science.
Welcome to Missing
No,
Numbers Poke Facts.
I think our real error was expecting there to be like a consistency
Well,
along the scale.
Some
Look-
games that I'm not going to name names have the audacity to base the health of Pokemon off of the inconsistent weights, which is the most absurd thing I've ever heard in my life.
I was just going to say, trying to reconcile absurd inconsistencies in the Pokemon universe is how we got this friggin' game in the first place. So
It's true. It's true.
So
What were we doing?
downsides, everyone is gone. Upsides, you got a Honoguma, and he's great.
He is
A
very
win is a
cute.
win.
And we would all die for him.
Yeah, Honoguma is now riding on Billy's shoulders, with like the leggies hung over the shoulder, and Billy's holding the leg so it doesn't fall off.
It's very warm. You do smell a little bit of like your hair burning, but it is very warm.
I think I don't know, that thing looks like it really loves Pokeballs.
Julian.
Just saying.
Julian. Just
Just
drive
saying.
down the mountain.
Fine. I drive down the mountain. Is the car still there? Is the bus still pulled over?
Yes, the bus is still there.
Well, I'm gonna go on the bus. What happened here? Can I psychic it?
Flavor note of the Pokeball did turn this thing into an Eldritch Horror, so this thing probably particularly really doesn't like Pokeballs.
Didn't it get turned into an Eldritch Horror? Wasn't it just an Eldritch Horror and then the Pokeball fixed it?
But the original corruption was done by the broken champion balls.
Right. Yeah, that's true. All right. Fair enough. Touche.
Which means I think when Julian's just this, Honoguma just kind of has like a small glare and like a flare of spark from like behind Billy's head.
Or I could be wrong.
Investigating the bus. It's just stopped in the middle of the lane. The engine is running. The lights are on. Headlights are on. The door is open, and there's nobody on board.
Are there any like purses or things like that people left behind, or
There are occasional persons
like an
here and there.
umbrella? Yeah.
Yeah, just like there are like it's not like you're seeing like full sets of clothes or anything, but like there are like some dropped personal effects. Yes.
And this was just a transit bus up the
Yep.
mountain.
Like a shuttle
Okay.
bus.
Shuttle bus. Okay. No Pokeballs hanging out.
Not that you can see.
Okay.
So everybody on the bus got raptured too.
I can't. Just-
I mean, that rapture, everyone's going to it, I hear.
Listen, you've heard of the Poke
man.
Rap.
Oh, yeah.
Get ready for the Poke Rapture.
No.
Arceus preserve us.
Oh no. Okay. All Pokemon go to heaven.
Non-negotiable.
It is non-negotiable.
Except for Pokemon Satan. But that's by design. That's his choice.
Is there a Pokemon Satan? I
There
didn't
sure
know that
is.
there was a
Mhm.
Pokemon.
Yeah, we summoned him in a game.
When did you summon Pokemon Satan?
During a playtest of Liz's game Pokemon Tales. Shout out Pokemon Tales. You can find it at ironechogames.itch.io. But I
Yeah,
played
you can
a
summon
watch those
Pokemon Satan.
episodes.
I
I
played
have to
a
go watch those episodes now.
Oh,
I
no,
don't think
not
they're
on,
recorded.
not on stream.
yeah.
That was just or no, yeah, it wasn't on stream, but
No, I made a character named Youngster Damien.
Yes, very good.
His Pokemon were a Rattata and then a Houndoom who had been sent to Earth to protect him as he heralded in the Pokemon apocalypse.
Yes, very good. Excellent.
So you're playing in one game, the chosen one, set to save the world from the apocalypse, and in the other one, you're playing the Antichrist, ready to bring it in.
Well, this was only one session. I think this was a long time ago.
I'm just saying, there's a theme.
yeah.
Which
It
game
was
am I the
also
chosen
one of those concepts where someone introduces it and then everyone just goes, well, that's what this whole session's about now.
In
Yep.
C3, you're the chosen one. That's the whole
That's
archetype
true.
you are.
Yeah. I forget about that.
Your destiny.
Yeah.
All right. Back to what we're doing right now with this
Yeah.
game.
And
Yes.
in the Poke Rapture. Yeah.
In the Poker Rapture. I hate that we're calling that, but it fits. Okay. So down the mountain we go, because this is bad.
You said you were getting on the bus. I would like you to
did.
not get on the bus, but if you're gonna,
I did, but I also got on the bus, looked around, and everybody had been raptured. So
Okay,
I got
cool.
off the bus. Did that anime thing where somebody looks down and you can't see their eyes, and there's like a tear, and then I got back into the car.
very good.
Yeah, so
I mean, not great, but you know.
it's not great. But we're gonna pretend we didn't break the scene twice and just continue on.
Yeah, I think with that knowledge, Julian is gonna floor it back to Esper Bay because at this point, I think we're all pretty apprehensive about how widespread this might have been. So it is very reminiscent of that first episode. We're speeding down the mountain to Esper Bay.
Except for that we're driving towards the Elder Tours instead of away from them.
Yeah. And then we see all of our friends as we enter the town.
So you well, let me ask you this. Where are you going first?
I will say that I'm heading for the gym, I think kind of unconsciously, but the gym is like kind of in the center of town, so we have to drive past a lot of things.
Grip it and rip it, baby.
Thank you for the
Slop that down,
donation.
dude.
Thank you for the donation.
Yeah, dude, I'll
Everyone's
crack
gone
one
to the
for
Poke
big
Rapture.
boy.
You know what?
Everyone's
pretty
gone to
good.
the Poke Rapture. Your donation is appreciated. Thank
And
you
we
so
get
much.
another point, so maybe we'll
Oh, we
survive the
do.
ending.
We do. That is true.
Thank you very much for your donation. We appreciate it.
So we have to drive past a lot of things in town on the way, I think.
Yeah. So you are driving past a number of places. It is pretty dark and deserted in town. Then again, it is pretty late at night. So it's hard to tell, honestly. It is like it suddenly feels significantly more desolate to you. That may be because that's kind of what you're looking for.
I don't love this.
We need to get back.
I will say, you on the way took a slow roll past the Orcoco Cafe. Because even though it is past the closing time, you would still probably expect to see some people in the back cleaning up.
Drinking.
And the
Yeah.
first thing that jumps out at you is that none of the chairs are up on the table.
Oh, that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign.
What time would they have usually started closing down?
An hour ago. And they'd still be in the back getting drunk.
So
especially the oh my god, I've lost his name.
The Pig Knight.
Pig Knight, thank you. I was like, fire pig pun. Yeah. No, especially the Pig Knight. He's got a problem.
He does. But damn it, that's what makes him such a good chef. Yeah, that's a very bad sign.
I need to go to the farm. I need to make sure things are okay.
Why don't we stop by the gym first? Make sure the professor's still there, since we're going to need him to end this.
You can call the farm from there, Billy, and if nobody picks up, I'll drive you out there.
Okay.
Pull up outside the gym.
There is at least one light on inside.
I think we probably come in through the doors calling for the professor.
Is that... Hello?
Oh, thank God.
Hello? Who is that? Identify yourself.
Professor?
Who is that?
It's Estelle.
And Julian and Billy.
And Julian.
I'm upstairs.
I just love your face. I'm like, sus. I'm upstairs.
The upstairs is where the office is, so that's where the phone would be. So that works out. So we'll all go upstairs too, where the professor is, hopefully.
You head upstairs. First thing you notice when you get up to the upper level, the closer you get to the office, is that all of the hairs on your arms and neck kind of like stand on end.
He's playing with magnets again, isn't he?
Funnily enough, you actually get to the office, and yes, in fact, the professor has his magneton out. And unfortunately for the phone, it looks as though he has basically dragged out every piece of electronics that there is in the gym, yanked it out of the wall, and has rigged it up into some sort of Tesla coil. That is connected to a circle of salts that he has made on the ground.
Well, that explains why you're still here.
Yes, I'm glad to see that you all are okay. I began to worry, but I couldn't risk stepping outside of the field. I felt that the pressure you had told me about, the pressure that I felt when it was here before, and I knew that it was going out and about, and I had to think fast. I used that top-hatted gentleman, that his book of witchcraft and nonsense. I figured out a way to use one of the summoning grids that it contains to create a shield.
I have a question out of character. If we were playing Call of Cthulhu, what would the professor's sanity score look like right now?
Good question.
I'm getting looked too often into the void vibes.
I mean, you're supposing it was that high to begin
I
with.
am not. I promise you.
Like, is it probably lower than when you last saw him? Yes.
I'm mostly just
But
concerned
the
whether
bar
we've
was
got-
already pretty low. Come on, this is the guy that had that had this theory that Pokemon were dark matter bacteria from space.
Yes. So my question is, has he reached, now that he's also had a confluence of occult stuff works, I guess, has he also reached ritual human sacrifice and now has 3 people with which to carry that out? That's really what I always like to keep a lookout for, when my allies become my unexpected crazy enemies coming at me with a hatchet.
So I will say, of the various bits of equipment in the room, the only one that is bleeding is the kiosk that you guys brought from Silphco so that he could modify the champion balls. And as we all know from the last episode, that was bleeding already.
Yes.
That was that piece of machinery was inexplicably bleeding when you found it.
Yep, sure was.
Before anyone may or may not have dropped it down multiple flights of stairs.
We'll never know.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
There's
The
no
worst part
recorded
is-
evidence of that. You can't prove it.
The worst part is that I wasn't there for that episode, so I have no, like, I was just as clueless as everyone else. That's what happened. All right, so Professor, well, this was happening up the mountain as well, so I'm assuming here in town. And the real question is what to do now. We've transformed back 2 of the missing numbers, but obviously this is not stopped what's happening.
Did you see it?
I think I did. The first time I really saw it. It looked at me. To answer your question, Estelle, an interesting hypothesis. I am giving some thought to that. Initially, my plan had been, which you all have acted upon very, very well, was to attempt to capture all of the missing numbers in the fixed champion balls, and therefore end the threat that they represented to our plane, as it were. However, I am starting to believe that that plan may have been a touch short-sighted. But I
Yes, I was thinking maybe we might need a portal.
It is funny you mentioned that. I was giving some thought to your Mr. Rue's suggestion of being able to retrieve the people who were gone from wherever it is they've been taken. At the time, I wasn't sure such a thing would be possible. It seemed unfathomable, frankly. But I have had some time to think and to ruminate while I have been trapped in here. And I believe I may have found a way. Using Silphco's teleporters, I may be able to modify one to instantiate someone into the Eldritch Zone from which the missing numbers are entering our reality.
All right. After all, the only one I know is in the old lab. But we'd have to travel to get there, and that's just too far for now.
There should be teleporters at Silphco's laboratory at the research campus in Sylph City.
Well, the question is, how do we get you there without exposing you to this thing?
I imagine that the answer may be quickly and stealthily. Hopefully.
What exactly does the salt circle do? Is it sort of an ion charge? I see you're using magnets. Is it... Could we make it mobile?
The salt circle, no. But I may be able to bring. Julian, Billy, you were able to hoist the kiosk before. Do you think you could get this Tesla coil into the back of your truck?
Definitely. Didn't have any issues moving it out of the Silphco building.
Yep.
So,
No problems at all. So
yeah, don't see
this
why
be
not.
Exact same situation.
Yep.
I'm sure Mr. Mime could help as well.
It's
He's
gonna be
surprisingly
necessary.
strong.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Honestly.
No, unfortunately, I do not think the telekinesis will be any use, given the specific field that this device emits.
Well, you heard the
I'm
man.
afraid the good old-fashioned muscle power will have to suffice. Oh, do be careful, though. I haven't had a chance to degauss it.
What's the degaussing?
It might still have, well, just be careful.
Of
No, I mean,
what?
we can take the second, Professor, if you'd like to explain what to not.
Yeah, I mean, we're not in that much of a hurry.
It may just have a little bit of an electrical charge.
Well, yes, it's a Tesla coil.
Well, just be as careful as you were with the terminal, and we won't have any problems. You'll be fine.
Just as careful. Understood.
Right? Yes, precisely, exactly.
Didn't you all drop the terminal
No.
down the stairs? Okay.
Absolutely not.
I don't remember
No.
that.
All right. But
You
that's
can't
fine,
prove
I'm
it.
sure. I cannot, unfortunately, because that episode is missing. Much like these numbers. Let's get to it.
Billy, you want to get that side? I'll get this one.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, guys, go and give me a fitness check.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got 7.
I might spend one of the luck.
Yeah, up to you. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like you're just kind of moving furniture. I don't know. I mean, yeah, if you want to.
Feels important.
I don't know. If you want to.
If we lose the professor, we are going to screw. The
That's
professor
a
plot.
5.
Yeah.
Okay. You're both kind of trying to move it as carefully as you can. It's a little hard given that, again, he sort of cobbled this thing together from the phone, the fax machine, some wiring from the walls, the actual metal desk that was in the room. So it's a bit ramshackle and tends to shift a bit. You've got it just about all the way down to Julian's truck, and it's then as you're kind of hoisting it into the back and trying to find the best way to maneuver it in so it won't tip over while you're going at speed. Julian, one of your fingers, in trying to kind of like get a better grip on its awkward frame, one of your fingers brushes an open circuit. Yeah, all of your hair stands on end. You mostly just feel a brief prick, and you see the time knife. But other than that, you're fine.
I take the time knife. I wield its power.
I bind it to my will through
Mhm.
blood and soul. Okay. We're doing occult stuff right now. Okay.
Fuck,
Shit.
Julian
All right.
says. It hurts.
And
Oh,
yes,
But I don't drop it.
you don't drop it. You see the time knife, but you do not drop it.
But don't
Alright.
stop.
Are you sure? Or
Mhm. Yep.
okay.
And yeah,
Yeah, get it
I'm
out to
I'm
the
gonna
truck.
make
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a new salt. We're gonna put the professor near it, and then I'm gonna just go around with a new thing of salt around the professor.
like, are you doing it like in the bed of the pickup
It's
truck?
just
Like,
it's not. By the time we start moving, it's just like a floor of salt.
so
that
much,
he's in.
it's so much salt.
It's so salty. It's so salty, like me. Listen, I didn't get vengeance, so we gotta go with saltiness. And I guess we're on our way to Silphco. Unless Billy, did you call?
The phone was destroyed, so we need
Oh,
to drive over
Okay,
the farm
gear.
before we go.
Okay, gear are a thing now.
okay.
Do I have
Good.
a cell phone?
I don't
I
know.
What?
I'm pretty
I
I think
modern
we
technology.
used one at one point. I thought I used Julian's at one.
Listen, Pokegear were in like Gen 2, Silver and Gold. That came out in like, what, 2000? Something like that?
Isn't that how we got tech support that time? I used your cell phone.
I
Sounds
suppose
right.
that is technically true. So somebody has a cell phone.
All right, well, then yes, I'm calling the farm.
It's combination watch cell phone.
Mhm.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because I was
The-
like holding your arm down to my tiny granny height.
The phone rings a couple of times, and your mother picks up. Julian, what? Why are you calling? What's going on? What
No,
happened to Billy?
Mom, it's Billy. It's me.
What? Oh,
I'm using
okay.
Julian's phone.
What? Billy, what's going on? What happened to Julian?
Julian's fine. Are you okay?
No, yeah, I'm fine. But why is Julian letting you use his phone if he's not dead?
Well, fair, but like, people are missing. Missing numbers attacked the town. It seems like did nothing happen at the farm?
You hear sort of a shuffling and a rustling of feet. No, I'm checking the windows. I don't see anything. Now we put all the mudstills in the barn. Sarge is in here with me. I haven't seen anything.
And hold on one second. Professor, could you build another of those things at like the farm?
For my mom.
It's possible. I could potentially do so. Admittedly, yeah, it may be better if we just leave this one there. It won't be much good unless it's plugged into a source of electricity.
Didn't we have it plugged into the car battery? I'll put the cables back. Sorry.
That's not going to last a long time.
I don't know. If we
Hey,
run
Mom,
it.
we're gonna drive over there and leave you with something to make sure the missing numbers doesn't come into the house. We'll be there in a second. Just stay out of sight, and if you feel a weird pressure, start piling up any electronics around you and pour salt on the floor. I don't quite understand how it works, but those two things combined seem to work.
You've been hanging out with the professor, haven't you?
Well, yeah, Mom, we're trying to save the world.
Oh, don't worry. Heads on a swivel. And you hear her expand one of the Pokeballs from her belt that inexplicably to you always sounds like a shotgun being racked.
She
Oh,
changed the default noise.
I love your mom. Just out of character. Love your mom.
She is a fantastic, terrifying woman.
Yes.
We're heading for the Baker farm. Not to be confused with the farm bakery.
Mm.
That's on
We're
the other
going
side of
all
town.
over the island. It's just you know what it is? We're just going back to the highlight spots. Like,
Yeah.
if we had time, we'd go out to the other island and see your kooky relatives out there.
We
And
sure would.
Don't mention them out loud, because I'm just explaining Billy not having to deal with trying to protect them as him not thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
So don't introduce them into the picture where I have to think about whether he's letting them just whatever or not.
will do.
Dad doesn't bring a phone when he goes hiking, so Billy's only ethically responsible for Mom.
Don't I need to worry about my mama. All right, out we go.
Indeed,
file.
and it is perhaps the fastest you have ever driven some of these winding dirt roads. The truck, which has already honestly had its suspension put through hell on some of these drives recently, goes up on two wheels at a couple of points and definitely is not loving the potholes that are out this way. The surrounding farms honestly only look all the more empty. The wind just sort of blowing over these blackened fields of grass, whistling through the windows of darkened farmhouses, almost like skulls. But in the distance, you do see the distinctive porch light of the Baker farm, the wooden sign at the fence at the edge of the property, still blowing and clacking in the wind.
Proceed up to the house. This is a normal thing.
Yep. And you show up and you pull up to the front of the house. And hello,
Thank you so much for
everybody.
the raid,
Yeah, thank
Galaxy
you so
Fest.
much for the raid. Hello, everyone. Welcome to these shenanigans that we are up to currently.
We are playing Eldritch Horror Pokemon.
That's right. And you pull up to the oh, thank you so much for the follows. All right. We
Yeah,
got so many
for
of
real.
these. Yeah, wow. Thank you, guys. We are out here raising money for the First Nations Development Institute and doing some horrifying goofs about Pokemans. Guys, pull up to the farmhouse and you are looking around when suddenly something lands hard on the hood of the truck. And it takes you just a second, just as you are all about to order your Pokemon to light it up, whatever it is. Billy, you stop them as you recognize the distinctive clawed feet and massive leak of Sarge.
Oh, because it's just Sarge. You don't want to try attacking him. And he's fine.
Sarge is standing on the hood of the truck, menacing with his giant leak, like he's gonna smash it through the windshield, with bloodshot eyes that have seen too much death.
I feel like it's one of those moments where we all just scream in unison, including Hanaguma and Mr. Mime, but Mr. Mime is completely silent.
Yep.
Mr. Mime just raises one eyebrow,
Yeah.
like.
Yep. Sarge, it's me. It's okay. We're here to help. It's fine.
No, come on, get on inside, quick. It's your mom from the porch. Sarge, no, come on, get over here. Get over here, buddy. Hey, sorry, guys. I think all this has got Sarge a bit jumpy. I think it's given him some flashbacks.
Yeah, that's fair. He's right to be on edge. Let's just get this set up, Professor.
I understand. I had a stroke tonight. And she just waddles into Have we
Julian
done? Can we
follows.
classify what it was? Was it a stroke? Was it a psychic storm? Did they even scan me at all? Take my pulse?
No, I'm pretty sure you got kidnapped before
Yeah,
you
I just-
had any actual medical diagnosis done.
I just passed out and then was kidnapped. by people.
They
Okay.
skipped you straight from intake to threatening
Good.
you with electroshock torture.
Could have been a heart attack. Could have been. Yeah, it was just pure
Yeah.
trauma. All right, cool. Just wanted to
Yeah,
make
It's
sure.
been a
If we-
night.
If we ever catch the fake doctor and enact horrifying vengeance on him, before we do, we can ask him what he diagnosed as having caused your issues.
True.
And with the professor's help, you are able to get his strange contraption set up in the kitchen of the house. And indeed, and your mom raids the pantry for a large container of salt that she proceeds to make a circle with in accordance with the way the professor shows her. And then as you all step out of the circle, she connects the leads of the machine to the circle of salt, and that actually kind of glows faintly blue for a moment.
I think when Julian sees her rummaging around in the cabinets, he's going to incorrectly assume that she is looking for food, and he's gonna like shoo her away. And he's gonna be like, "I'll take care of it."
Trying to cook in someone else's house.
Yeah, he's gonna see what he can gather ingredients wise to make some comfort food.
Okay. Well, what are you making? What are you making for everybody?
But my guess, I mean, I'm just thinking about what we can reach since we're now encased in a circle. My guess is probably it's just going to be like a pasta sauce. There's like some fresh veggies from the garden out on the counter. Everybody's got box pasta.
You think
he will realize, he'll look around as he's reaching the end of it, and then he'll be like, yeah, okay. And he'll stoop down and he'll just grab a few pinches of salt off of the floor out of the circle and just go ahead and sprinkle that into the pasta sauce.
Circle.
Yeah. Not enough to break the circle, but just like,
Yeah.
there it is.
the pasta sauce crackles a little bit as you do so. You think for just a moment about defaulting and making your specialty, and then after a long moment staring into space, you do not.
Sure don't.
Mhm.
I've seen things.
So, should we bring the professor to Silphco, or should we bring the teleporter to Professor here? If this is keeping them safe, it might be best to leave them here and go get the teleporter.
I think so. If something happens to us, the professor can still make this work as long as somebody else brings the teleporter. Even if it's not us.
True.
I think he's the one we have to protect.
I think that's very true. I also think, if possible, you might want to see if you can get the word out, Professor, or just anyone who, if the phones are still working, try to reach anyone, tell them to watch out, and if the ferry's still going, maybe to get on it.
Yeah, did you know our watches are phones too?
Yes. It's little known fact. The things they come up with, these children with their gadgets.
I never touched the things. And he briefly takes off his hairpiece, and you see that he has what appears to be a sheet of tinfoil underneath his toupee.
Things we probably would have wanted to know before we started the adventure at your. No,
How long have you been doing that?
Well, about since the time that a strange Pokemon from out outside of our linear perception of space, and it blew out the back of my house.
Good answer.
Have you met Billy's new Pokemon?
Billy just picks him up and holds
It
him
used
out.
to be a missing number.
And now it's this cute little guy. Say hello, buddy.
Also, Frazetti. Frazetti, have you met the professor?
Frazzetti's in a Pokeball because I'm a normal trainer.
The professor just sort
Normal.
of holds up Honogumi and is just like, "You're the missing link."
I'm not
And then
gonna.
Billy like slowly extends his hands out and grabs Honogumi and slowly pulls it back from the rest.
He's just like, "I knew you were real. I dreamed of you."
Okay.
I must study you.
Billy, we might want to take Letty with us so that I feel like the professor might experiment. While we're gone. Let's
Hands off, tummy rubskin.
Yes, don't tubby rubskins. He's adorable and we love him. We should definitely go get a teleporter. However, I'm gonna take these dogs out if we're cool.
I was actually about to say this was going to be a good time for us to take a short break.
Sounds good.
So don't go away, everyone. We will be back in a few minutes. How's it going?
We're talking about bumper stickers we'd actually put on our vehicles.
Oh, there are some doozies. But anyway, yes, hello, we are back, and I think there was some debate about what shape your next move was going to take.
Well, we had established basically that we're leaving the professor here, I think.
Okay.
So that leaves the three of us as, Strike Force
We're
Esper.
gonna leave the squishies here
Yeah.
and take ourselves, which are equally squishy, and go raid Sovko for, is it the third or the fourth time?
Technically, I think this is like the third.
Okay, good. Third time charm.
Sounds right. I
Yes.
we've
They
been
know
there
when
more
to be
than
ready
3
for us
times.
this time.
Yeah.
I mean, fair, they may
Where's
not
the
remember the
move?
second time. No one else has record of it.
That's
It's
true.
true.
It has been,
Yeah, they
Oh.
it has been
can't
wiped by the
prove
missing
it.
numbers.
True. Wipe clean. First time we
Purged.
signed in, didn't we? Sorry.
First time we were employees because we were visiting Julian's second job.
Yeah, right.
Did you
That's true.
accidentally kick Andy's ocean of energy drink cans?
He has 3 of these that I've just found via knocking over, and no hate. I
No,
understand.
that sounds right. At least they're like Red Bulls and not like tiger blood or something like that.
I do remember when Axel brought those to the gamer weekend.
Yes.
Andy, I think those are ones that Andy used to get when he was like doing the things in other countries.
I
Because he was
believe
like,
they
"Oh,
are
you can't get these in the
important.
States."
Yeah. And there might be a reason for that.
No.
So we're gonna go break into Selfco again.
Again, we're experts at
And-
this point.
We are.
Yes.
Professor, you keep working on all of this.
Yes. See if maybe you can figure out a way to expand it and make the circle, big enough for a few people, maybe a teleporter. I'm sure there's some copper wire of some kind around the farm.
Billy's mom is named Susan, right?
Correct. Yes.
What did
Julian
I
is
say?
gonna. No, I was just asking for me. Julian is going to very seriously put a hand on Susan's shoulder and say, "Susan, I need you to do something for me."
I will do anything if you remove your hand from my shoulder this instant.
That's fair. That's fair. I need you to let the pasta get to room temperature before you put it in the fridge. Otherwise, it's just going to get completely soft and disgusting.
Do not let the world end with my son in it, okay?
That's the
Also,
plan.
don't put the sauce in with the pasta. It just will soak it up, and then you'll have no sauce. It's horrible.
Oh my god! Go get go get the teleporter thingy. I don't get out of my house.
Also, when you combine the two together and they're kind of in like a soup-like consistency, apparently you can just put them in bags. It's way easier.
With the right straw.
It's a very thick straw. It's quite unpleasant.
God, I'm just no god. Sorry, I just imagine like slurping like a rigatoni through a boba straw. That's where we've gotten to now. We have discovered the ultimate Eldritch horror.
Do you
The real
understand
Eldritch
how
horror.
difficult it would be to like find the end of the noodle stream? Because you just they'd get stuck to each other and they'd get like a new one up there, and you'd be like, I've been eating this noodle for 5 years.
It's non-Euclidean. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Also, we have to torture you about something, and it can't be pepperoni rolls in every stream.
I know it's true.
What is in his palace in Ryla, Dread Cthulhu lies slurping?
Nah. Needs work.
All right, fair. We get in the car, which is fortunately
Yeah,
still
just
running.
fucking grip it and rip it,
Thank you so
baby.
much
Thank
for
you so
the
much.
That
Donation.
down,
donation.
dude. Shit, yeah, dude.
I
can't
One
read the
for
name.
big boy.
Forest Site. Thank you so much
Oh,
for the
thank you so much,
donation.
you.
Forest
Forest
Site.
Site.
We really appreciate it.
We sure do.
Sorry about the noodle imagery and the slurping sounds.
Maybe that's why there was a donation.
That's
I don't
true.
know.
Yeah.
They're here for that good noodle content.
Exactly.
Yep. That's what my OnlyFans is about.
Oh, okay. We're in the car.
We sure are.
No,
Okay.
no.
It's like 9. It's not even 10. I have no excuse for how much
No.
I am. Let's go.
The customer's always right.
We came into
True.
this session real unhinged.
Pasta. Exactly.
It is too early to be D-Gen o'clock. And
We should bump up our luck points, though.
yes, we should do that.
We should. You're right.
As you guys proceed towards Sylph City, the large research campus that Sylphco maintains on the island. And sure enough, as you were driving through the outskirts of it, through the very sort of cookie cutter prefab suburbs that have popped up around it, they always seemed very empty to you. In fact, many of them were developments that had popped up that had no one in them. But now you would be shocked if there was a single soul in any of them. There are just sort of sprinklers watering lawns until they run over into the street. There are cars that appear to be abandoned in the middle of roads, like you saw the bus earlier. You do actually approach a security checkpoint on the outskirts. This would be an area that you had either swept your way through before with your key card, or which you had to have Julian's sister use her connections to get you through. But at this point, the gate is down. There is nobody in the booth.
So it would be unethical to blow up the entire facility before we bring people back, right? Just make sure it's gone. That's not a thing. We're not. Okay.
I mean, look, if we want to go that route, I may have once thought of a plan to do something similar.
I forgot you did.
I mean, we've had to come back here like 3 times, so I feel like it may have useful stuff for us. Though I also have a question. The breaking is the illegal part of the breaking and entering, right? Like, this is just entering. We should be fine. We don't have to break or sneak, or it's just walking.
Yeah.
So technically it's trespassing. Because they don't want us here. And we
It-
are here.
It's illegal to go places you're not wanted.
If they tell you to leave or to not enter, then yes, that would be trespassing.
I feel like this is putting a lot of things in a whole new light for Billy.
Billy just like projects a little bit. It's like, does anyone have a problem with us coming in? Legal.
Yes, absolutely.
That is definitely how that works. Yep.
And
Yeah, no,
you know-
it's like the 5-second rule.
If we happen to find the CFO's key card while we're here, finders keepers. Like just walks in.
I've never felt closer to either of you than I do in this moment.
So yeah, is it empty in the whole building? Is it like, or do you hear some movement?
Yes, if you get out of the truck and go into the booth and open the gate to get entry into the campus proper, you're driving around, and the number of places there are lights that are on. In fact, several of the video billboards that advertise sort of the more customer-facing aspects of the campus that are sort of advertising all of Silphco's various brands and products are actually still going, which seems odd given the time of night. These very, very bright, glaring, smiling people all just stare down over a bleak, empty concrete corridor. Because now that you're here, where are you going?
So the teleporters were in the R&D section, correct?
Where the Healy tables bleed, yeah.
Okay. Where the Healy tables bleed.
It's a long story. I guess it's not that long. We saw Healy tables, they were bleeding.
Should Did you tell the professor this?
The professor knows.
Yeah.
I think it
Remember
was
he
still
said,
bleeding in his office. Come to
Yeah.
think of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just assumed that's how they worked.
Well, let's go ahead and get you all lead the way. I'll follow this time. I think
I'll go first.
it's been a long night and you seem to know.
I think I would like to, in our tried and true method, I'm pretty sure I will call out Brunoise. Yeah, I'll call out Brunoise to walk alongside me in case we have to give anybody amnesia. And
Shiloh and Aster walking alongside me. Ling Ling is floating along, and Tum Tum is riding on my shoulders.
it's just it's a lot. Also, we're kind of going for stealth here. One of them is a bell.
Who are we hiding from? Aren't they all
Touche,
photographs?
I guess.
Touche. Confused.
I'm just, we don't know. The professor and your mom are still around, so we don't know who got spared from the Poke Rapture for whatever reason.
I mean, also, I feel like they would have a more pressing concern than us.
Fair. You'd think that. You can't underestimate these corporate types, Billy. This is all they have.
I suppose. Well,
All right, follow me.
So you start to approach the stairwell that you had used before to get into R&D. And you, once you're able to get in pretty easily, Charlie Geller's key card still works. There's nobody at the garage. And you make your way up to a floor that sounds pretty eggheady. Sounds pretty executor like. So sounds like it'd be a place where they would have some sort of weird teleportation technology.
Is it just R&D?
I mean, this whole section of the building is
Oh,
R&D.
that's right.
It's a question of
Right.
yeah. It's a question of like what are they R&Ding specifically?
Yeah.
Before you were mostly in the area where for their various consumer products, some of which came alive and attacked you.
Fair.
But for this, you're more looking at their more esoteric stuff.
All right. Well, this one's labeled esoteric stuff, so I think it's a pretty good sign.
Is that another type of terrorism?
Esoterrorism? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very much so.
Got it.
You're muted, Heather.
Right now, we're actually engaging in what's called corporate espionage. Have you ever seen a spy movie, Billy?
It's called
Yeah,
that because
Agent Cody Banks.
Exactly.
that exists in this world, yes.
and with one comment, shattered the entire.
Exactly.
Yeah, Billy, it's called corporate espionage because we got a couple psychics with us. So it's ESP espionage.
Oh, that makes sense.
You could just Billy, listen. They're doing bad things, and we're finding out their secrets.
Huh?
So that we can stop them from doing the bad things.
I thought we were getting a teleporter.
Well, I mean, also that, but I'm probably going to try to take this computer over here because I have a feeling
Rip it, baby.
this one
Slop
has
that
the
down,
secrets
dude.
inside it.
Yeah, dude. Crack
Thank
one
you
for the
very much
big
for
boy.
the donation.
Thank you.
That
Thank
one
you
was
so
my mom.
much. Thank you, Will's mom.
Thank you so much, Will's mom.
Whose name is Karen, correct? Yes?
Yes, her name is Karen. Thanks, Will's mom. All right.
I only remembered because I think we named Kaz's mom Karen.
Yeah. Yep. And then I
And she
told the story
battled.
about the play that I wrote that was called "They Killed Karen." Yes,
Yeah.
we did all of those things.
Yep. Hi, Karen.
Cool. Even odds if she's actually watching or not. She might have just donated because she knows it's time.
Right, yeah.
But anyway, moving on to the esoteric floor. I love you too. She is watching. Great.
Oh.
The dichotomy of the last two messages in the chat
Love
right now.
Yep.
You.
It's our channel right there.
It's a brand,
Right.
apparently.
It's our channel in a nutshell.
Wholesome? Yeah. Night.
Good night.
This floor
Damn.
is primarily devoted to a series of, it looks like, various capsules, and there are sort of chemical hoods, and it looks to be a sort of a number of sort of directed energy devices. This is where they conduct their experiments in matter transfer. At this point, they're short distance teleportation has been around for a while. It's never really reached consumer level, but it's been in fancier buildings for a while.
Do they use it like elevators? Or?
In some cases, yeah. But it appears like here is where they are primarily working on trying to either make that technology more consumer accessible, or to be able to increase the range of it so that it has wider applications than just skipping a door or an elevator.
Gotcha.
So do we know what this specific teleporter looks like? Or can we just grab any of them? We should probably call him, right?
I suppose we would just. We
I mean,
should probably call.
He's given us tech support over the phone before.
I feel like this is one of those, if we grab the wrong milk, it's going to ruin the recipe things.
Agreed. And that is a metaphor that I understand.
Yes.
I mean, if there's one that's bleeding, it's probably that one based on the odds.
Good point. Are any of them bleeding?
No, in this case, none of them appear to be bleeding or oozing or otherwise effusing any sort of biological byproduct.
Well, I give up. Estelle, get the man on the horn.
Okay, and I just grab your wrist and press the button. Professor! Hi, puppy. It's okay.
Ring, 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 ring.
Every time I crack up laughing, she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Hi. Oop the snoot. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hello?
Professor, what type of teleporter were you looking for? One they've already fiddled with, or do you want just the base model? What do you think?
Well, I didn't really realize that I would have a full consumer selection. What wondrous times we live in.
Well, I mean, it's Silco, you know.
I suppose, better living through Pokemon, isn't that their motto? What do we have on offer?
I think there's a silver, a space gray, and a rose gold, Professor.
All right.
There's different distances on them too. What is that number, Billy? I don't have my glasses.
All right. So I think what you're really looking
metric.
So what I think you're really going to be looking for there is going to be the Brundle quotient. So I would say probably what I would be looking. Normally, I would say I would actually want the highest Brundle quotient that you can find. But actually, given what I'm going to have to try to do to it, too high might not actually be great for what we need to do. Lower might actually be better for that. But it does run the risk of turning you into soup when you come back. Now, I know how much you kids love soup, but maybe not this kind of soup.
And Professor, I mean, obviously I know what it looks like, but for Julian and Estelle, the Brundle quotient, what symbol or anything would that look like?
So you're familiar with what the differential equations for quantum entanglement look like, I'm assuming.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
All right, so what you're mostly going to be looking for is going to be the largest available coefficient.
She's just going to cover the phone / your wristwatch and say, let's just pick the big one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what he's saying, right? Like big number, Professor, look for big number.
How big of the balls? Let's go off of the ball size here.
What?
Like, I guess you could call them capsules. I don't know. We live in a world that is full of balls. So that's where my brain went.
I suppose that's true. I don't know. Get some ones that look, big enough for a person and a Pokemon to go in, I suppose. At the same time, sort of I don't know. Just get me the Cronenberg. Call it brand loyalty, but I've always been partial to the Cronenbergs.
On it. We could do that. Get the one with the biggest balls.
Is there one that says Cronenberg on it?
There is actually one that says Cronenberg on the side, right. Yes.
That one. We're going to grab that one.
We are.
Okay. But what size are the balls that the Cronenberg print?
It's decent.
It's definitely the rose gold one.
It is definitely the rose gold.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that Brendan's had his vengeance for that time we made him give us tech support. By doing tech shopping over the phone. All right. I have comforted my dog about losing my shit. So let's go. Oh no, Deb, that's a bad sign. It's true.
And
So how are we gonna lift this thing?
We've got strong Pokemon.
Can we psychic it? Are we allowed to psychic this one?
Here's a theory. Is there a teleporter that's big enough to teleport the teleporter to where we need it to go?
Ooh, good question. How can you? Is this gonna be? No, we might blow up the world. Because if you put
Yeah.
if you
There's
put
plenty
a
of
bag
this-
of holding,
a bag of holding,
inside
a bag of
of
that's
a
true.
bag of
Yeah,
holding,
the portable hole inside the bag of holding.
it's not.
The deep nerd magic.
The deep nerd. I remember the deep nerd magics.
I mean, you didn't tell us not to put the teleporter into another teleporter.
It's true. And so some of these teleporters look like they are actually built around sort of being zapped with a laser a la Tron. So, I mean, you could always give it a whirl. I mean, you basically understood everything the professor told you about teleportation.
Give or take.
But there's also an elevator, and I'm just gonna grab. Estelle like goes into a closet and pulls out like a wheelie thing, because if they have big machines, they have ways to move them. So
Yeah.
well, let's just get it on this, and we'll take it downstairs.
I think between all of our Pokemon, I'm sure we can manage this.
Oh, you found a wheelie table.
Yes.
Where was that wheelie table when we were moving the Healy table?
Did you look for one?
No.
This is age. It teaches you things about saving your knees and your back, and when to look for a wheelie cart.
In my defense, I was kind of in my feelies when we were looking for a wheelie table for the Healy table.
And we were doing a Steely, so we had to be very subtle.
Yay. Are you guys just having fun cracking me up with jokes?
We're
Oh,
so
God.
tired.
I really am. I traveled back this week. I'm just
I don't have
not,
an
I'm not-
excuse. I'm just
No.
tired.
All right, so
We're all going through it this week, apparently.
yup.
We've
We're
been saying
doing
that
it.
for like the last 4 weeks.
I know.
Years.
Yeah, it doesn't end. It's just one continuous. All right. So,
So between our Pokemon and the wheelie table,
should we roll things? Let's roll things just for the heck of it. What do you want us to roll for Pokemon? Can we psychic this, Brendan?
I am going to say that you are actually between all your various Pokemon and your big strong boys and your various telekinetic Pokemon, you can manage. You can yes.
Yes.
You can manage. You can figure this out to get this teleportation pod out of the lab and down the hallway. And you are at the elevator and you are waiting for it to come up. But when the elevator doors open, the elevator is not empty.
what's in it?
A Dragapult is inside of it.
Do you want me to hit the thing?
Yep, hit the thing.
Here we go. We did it. We did the thing. Great. Love this. Feeling really good about it. Oh wait, I should do the thing. There it is.
Indeed, this Pokemon seems to fill the elevator. It almost seems it's like it should be larger than the interior of the elevator. Its strange spectral shape kind of warps the interior dimensions of it, and it sort of rears its head out of the double doors and squeezes itself out to rear up in the hallway in front of you.
Oh shit.
And let's go ahead and roll off as you do hear an automated speaker system going off that just says, "Intruder alert, intruder alert, intruder alert."
Billy like looks up at the radio. It's like, we asked. You didn't say anything. It's not trespassing.
It doesn't work like that. Intruder alert, intruder alert.
Well, now I'm just confused.
I feel like that happens a lot. Intruder alert, intruder alert.
Julian is gonna spray it with soup from a bag and say boring conversation anyway.
Oh, I should probably actually get my battle sheet out, actually. That would probably be good.
Probably. These are pretty decent rolls from us for once. You're muted, Heather.
What even is happening?
It's crazy.
So you got Frizzetti.
Let's see what dice Brendan is rolling with first before we get too cocky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
fair.
true.
Waiting
so-
for like
sorry,
a D20
so-
to drop.
Who is who's player 16 and who's player 39?
I mean,
I
I'm 16,
Okay.
I think. Yes. No? Wait, no, I'm 39.
I am 16.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
and
39.
I don't know why it has me as 16 because before it had me as Heather. But here we are.
Who know?
Who even could know?
Who even know really?
Who even know what? Where's the player 16? Pukius. I'm in here several times.
yeah, that's the downside of these rooms, apparently.
Yeah.
So who is standing in front?
I kind of imagine Julian is up front.
I'm pretty sure the moment the elevator started to open and we saw a threat, Julian and Billy both stepped in front of Estelle.
Yeah, because of the stroke.
Yeah.
Was that traumatizing for the both of you? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Like,
Extremely.
oh, we killed Estelle.
All right, then in that case.
Son of a
Nope.
bitch.
Those aces.
Every time.
See, you say that, but man, like the actual threats that I had last session could get no good rolls and got absolutely bulldozed.
Or we're just that good.
So, you have Brunoise up front, I'm assuming.
I do, yes.
The Dragapult proceeds to fire out in rapid succession a hail of these like salamander-shaped living darts that all fall around and ring both you and Brunoise before coming alive and beginning to crawl all over the both of you. As they do, their touch, it have almost sort of a coating like poison tree frogs. So it is almost like you have been infested by them. For the purposes of this, you and Brunoise are trapped, and your toughness will reduce by 1 each turn.
You know what I love about this Pokemon? It fires its own young at its enemies.
Yeah, that is a special kind of fucked up.
How do you have so many? Why are you doing this? Like missiles.
Yeah. Also, I'm just like, I don't know. Like I mostly just take the Pokemon to their logical conclusion. That's all I really end up bringing to this show.
All right.
And so I think that means Billy is next, right?
Yes.
Obviously Billy's got a couple of capable Pokemon all standing out, but I think he's gonna go a step forward and just feel a little bit of like heat on the back of his neck. He's gonna pick up Tum Tum and look at him and be like, "You wanna try and fight, buddy?" And Tum Tum just has this very like intense, determined expression, similar to like the kind of vaguely menacing expression he gave Julian earlier when Julian said something about putting him back in a Pokeball. And so Billy's gonna go, all right, we'll give it a shot and just set him down. And let's see what you can do, bud. And Tum Tum is going to try and play rough with the Dragapult.
Okay. So we'll say your target number for hitting the Dragapult is going to be 6.
All right. That's totally fine. That's definitely doable. With Billy helping us doable. Because otherwise I'd have to roll a perfect.
Mhm.
So let's see. That's an 8 and a D4, but I do get a +2 because it's a fairy move, and that is a dragon.
Oh, that's right. Dragon's weak to fairy, right?
I think it's
Nice.
fairy, an ice, and something else.
Mm-hmm.
And dragon.
And
Yeah,
dragon.
I just forget fairy sometimes because it's one of the more recent types.
It's definitely not something they made up just to balance the game for things that were overpowered. Nope. It was
definitely not,
very
no.
fundamentally necessary.
Yeah.
That is a total of an 11.
Well, that does not crit like it normally would, but it does hit.
Well, I'll still take that.
Yeah. Well, you want to describe how that looks?
I think there's just like a little determined expression in Honoguma's face, and it just like starts to glow a little bit with fire, and then it like jumps forward at this thing, and it's almost like that like Looney Tunes-esque cloud of dust.
Yep.
As
As they both just sort of like tumbling through the hallway, just like smashing bodily through copiers, sending bits of them flying everywhere.
Yeah, I think it leaps right at the Dragapult's like face and lands on its like little, bomber face, and just starts like scratching away at it.
I was ready. It reaches up and like face masks it like in football. Ugh.
Yeah, I think despite its adorableness, I think Tum Tum has like a very like menacing core.
Totally out of place in this game. Right, so Julian and Estelle, you both got the same for your initiative roll. Who would like to go first?
Well, Julian is trapped, so it would seem to make sense to me that Estelle would be able to go before.
That does make some sense, yeah.
So what Estelle's gonna do is, seeing Julian trapped and seeing that we're up now against multiple enemies, she's gonna call to Dottler and say, "Struggle bug." Where is?
You will have a minus because it's ghost.
I know it's ghost, but technically it's a psychic move, I believe.
Well, struggle bug is a bug move, isn't it?
Is it a bug move?
I believe struggle bug is a bug move.
Let's Google.
It is.
Might be. Yep.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
It does have bug in the name, so I would assume.
I was like, I feel very confident about this.
The thing is, though, it hits everybody, and even though they have resistance to it, it might get them off of him.
Yeah, I mean, could work potentially.
Like pull the ones off of like Julian?
Yeah, it's the one move I have that'll hit multiple targets, and it might actually hit the ones on Julian and just at least knock them off or something.
Oh, makes sense.
I will say, tell me who your primary target is.
The primary target is to get things off of Julian and his Pokemon.
Okay, so your primary target is to free Julian and Brunoise and to hit the Dragapult as a secondary?
Yes.
Okay, in that case, I would say roll, and then depending on how well you roll, we'll see how whether these secondary objectives.
How do we want to represent? Do I do a minus for the fact that they have resistance, or do you just
It would be a -2. Yeah.
-2? Okay. Okay. Here we go. So that is total of 11 because it's 7, 6, -2. So.
Yep. So, yep, 7, 6, -2.
Still has a 10 for tactics?
Sorry? Did I roll the wrong one? What did I roll?
You rolled 2 10s.
Oh, I apologize. No, that's me hitting the wrong things. I thought I have a D8. That looks like a D8. Hold on a second. Did it? Okay, there you go.
Uh-huh.
No,
One of
I
those aces.
think did it come out the same? No, no.
It came
Oh, no,
out
it came out
better,
to-
but that's
actually, it
because
came
one
out
of them
better.
explodes, but that's fine.
Yes.
I'm not gonna explode it. Like it,
Okay.
it came out. I rolled the wrong things at first.
That's fine.
just-
Well, so even still, so you got a 13, which would actually still crit against this, which I will then basically let you both free Julian and Brunoise and also hit the Dragapult for a wound.
Okay, awesome.
How's that look?
So what happens is Estelle, even she just looks at Julian, trapped. And you said that these have kind of like a toxin in them.
Yeah.
I imagine Estelle knows that, and she's more worried about the fact that there is something toxic and attacking her boys. It's been a stressful night, and she just shouts out to Dottler, struggle bug, and Dottler, of course, immediately starts doing his little wave dance with the seismicness, and that hits the enemies, and they just sort of like almost get shimmied off of Brunoise and Julian, and then just like kind of scurry back into the elevator, like, Mom, I don't know what just happened. And then I think you said I'm also getting a wound for.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Then I think what happens is maybe the adult actually reaches out to almost protect its young, and then instead gets the backlash as it whips, as the effect starts to travel towards them. So sorry, I'm not being super creative tonight.
No, you're
I'm
good.
doing my best. I'm so tired.
And Julian, it's your go.
Cool. Julian, who was just trapped, I think you free Julian, and you kind of see him standing there, and that he does the same thing with the anime head tilt forward where you can't see the eyes, but you can see the telltale reddish aura that is kind of starting to glow off of him, and by extension, Brunoise. And he's going to lift his head up in the aftermath of your attack, Estelle, and shove one hand out towards the Dragapult. He's going to say, "We don't have time for this. Brunoise, Zen, headbutt." And I'm using my trump card ability by spending a master.
Ooh.
Nice.
So for this one roll, both of these, this is considered an automatic hit, and I get to roll 2d12 for a total of 20.
Diggity dang. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It has an additional narrative effect appropriate to the flavor of the trump card, which I think I would like to say is maybe this thing gets blasted out through the wall of the building.
Like, we don't have time for this.
Yeah. that is legitimate. Yeah, I think go ahead and roll with that. Tell us how this happens.
Brunoise, the reddish aura that has been growing around Brunoise and sympathetically around Julian, kind of just flares into this huge aura, and with the psychic power that it normally summons, Brunoise launches forward, like one arm in front, head down, psychic aura covering its body, except it's magnified like 100 times, and it just slams into this thing in that way where time kind of stops for a second, and then the Dragapult is fully just like launched back with the force of like an oncoming train, and ideally out through the wall of the elevator that it came out of.
So
Brendan,
the
you're muted.
elevator's broken.
Yeah,
now.
I'm losing. I'm not getting your audio.
He has the mute in the top right corner.
Oh, you know, I sure do. I was just saying, yes, that is indeed what happens.
So you broke the elevator?
Just the wall. But I think Julian, as in the aftermath of that, the energies, the red energy starts to fade, and Julian and Brunoise are both similarly sort of out of breath and a little sweaty.
Oh no.
It's probably fine. It probably still works, right?
High or low?
You son of a bitch.
High or low?
I'm rolling. Hold on. High.
Oh, wait, okay, you rolled and then you picked. You don't get to do that.
No, he rolled to pick him for
Yeah.
himself. Like he's
Oh,
not
for yourself.
doing it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you rolled
Yes.
pick for yourself.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a hard
okay.
decision.
Oh,
when
I see.
your fate
Okay,
rolls.
fair enough.
I got
All right.
over a 3,
High.
so it's
All
high.
right. Okay. All right. All right. The elevator, though it is missing its entire back, the back of it, the whole ass back of it is gone.
Uh-huh.
But it works miraculously.
Somehow.
It creaks and groans on the way down.
Dangerously.
And it's a
one might
little
say.
unsettling to just like see the cables and the counterweights working on the back of the elevator shaft. But yep, you can get it. It stops on the ground floor a little above where it's supposed to stop. So you gotta kinda shimmy the teleporter out of the elevator.
Julian
This-
and Brunoise, who are like kind of just leaning against the side identically with their arms crossed over the chest, are like, see, it's fine.
This is literally like out of character. This is my nightmare. Like, the
told you it was
stress
fine,
nightmare
it's
I have
fine.
in a
This
blink
is
of an
fine.
eye going
fine.
in any elevator that makes any rickety noises.
As you have just about gotten the entire teleporter out of it, with a loud clang, the elevator finally drops into place completely on the ground floor.
Let's get this thing to the truck and get back to the farm.
Yes. We should do that.
I'm so tired and hungry. I hope your mom listened to my instructions.
Estelle,
sure
like,
she did.
very not trying to hide it all, just as like tucking a card she picked up, like all the cards she picked up as she found them along the way. Like, yes, we should get back.
And we can load it into the truck bed, I'm assuming, and get driving
Yes.
again.
And you are undisturbed on the way back to the farm by anything, really.
Oof.
It is just you, the road, and the wind.
You know, I'm sure this is fine. I'm sure this is fine.
And you,
Julian unconsciously speeds up a little bit.
Like, yeah, this is fine. I'm sure this is fine.
I mean, you are going fast enough that like you were going way faster than you ever would normally. You are almost like, especially because you're driving past Asper Bay, you were almost expecting, you were almost begging for to see the flashing lights of a Jenny behind you, just for the confirmation that she's out there. But no one stops you.
Julian whispers the saddest A-jab of his life.
And you arrive back at the Baker farm. and you unload it, and the professor proceeds to get to work. Doing what exactly? You are not entirely clear, and you're mildly concerned at how much he seems to be consulting the Pokenomicon.
Okay. You know what? You kept him safe.
Yeah.
It stopped the missing number, apparently.
I think we should have a talk about who should go through the portal.
What is there to talk about?
Well, it's going to be very dangerous. And we don't know if it'll actually work.
Mm-hmm.
Or if, like the professor said, something about jelly, I think there was.
Soup.
Soup. Soup to doop doop. So I really think that it's probably best if I'm the one that goes.
No.
No.
No, absolutely not.
Well, Julian, you have to understand if this first attempt doesn't work, it's the two of you that have managed so much of this.
Neither one of us has any idea what has happened. Any step of the way.
We wouldn't even be here if you hadn't brought all of this together, Estelle.
Oh, I don't think that's true. I think you boys would have found your way into things eventually.
No, that's true. That's 100% true. I wasn't even going to get involved with the gym until you
Neither was I.
coerced
I was
me.
just a small, minor trainer. I showed up on Saturday evenings. And I was terrible. I hadn't won a fight the entire time.
Listen, boys, the truth is, I've had a very long life. And, well, I've outlived quite a few of the people that I love. And I don't think my heart could take it if I had to do it with you. So if you don't mind, unless we can all go together, I think if it's best, you just let me go through. Because I've already lost one person very important to me to a portal. It's true I didn't know that for most of my life, but I do now. And I don't want either of you stuck on the other side of it.
Well, then sounds like we're all going together.
Oh, I'm afraid no can do. Sadly, I think there's just enough draw on the power grid. I think I could maybe get one of you through.
And sorry, out of character, where is this sending us again?
Into the dark realm.
An excellent question.
An excellent question.
The Shadow Realm.
Wherever the missing numbers are.
Going to deal with the big bad. You can't just send one.
I mean, it is, or it's also just going to wherever the people are being pooped into.
Okay.
We haven't really established what it looks like when people are disappeared, other than that it's super scary right beforehand.
What do you mean you can only send one, Professor?
think it's just a matter of the. Well, I've got enough at least for 2 trips. I know that I have that much. Got at least one for a go and a return.
I mean,
I think I could probably stretch the charge. Get all 3 of you through. But then I do not know if I'd be able to get all 3 of you back.
I like those VODs better than sending one person on their own.
Well, it's up
I
to
don't
you.
I don't think there's any point in doing this if we can't guarantee bringing everybody back.
I mean, I'm not sure we can guarantee anything.
Professor, when we get over there, what can be done to stabilize or to bring people back? Do we have any theories?
I am frankly just as new to this as you are. I only just figured out how to get there, unfortunately.
If only one of us goes, can you use the extra power to keep it open on the return trip so that the rest can come back too? At least some of them.
I think I could certainly try.
How would we signal when we were ready to go through?
I'm going to monitor the pattern buffering from this side. Frankly, if I sense an unacceptable degree of decohesion, something happens to you over there, I'll bungee cord you back, hopefully, before there's not enough left of you to bring back. Think, well, I know some of you at least can use your psychic abilities. Do you think you could draw on that connection that you share to signal someone on the other side?
Oh, yes.
If we're going into this place, is it going to have the same pressure that these things have had before?
To be perfectly honest, I don't know.
Well, then I think if only one of us is going, it should be me. I was able to resist it the last time we saw one of these. Estelle, you certainly didn't handle it very well. Julian, you've got something going on too, but I don't know if you have a handle on it. You haven't gone through the official Esper Bay brain poking training, so
I don't know what you're talking about.
your red glowy thing. It happens sometimes.
What red glowy thing?
Yours is red, mine is blue. It's a whole thing. It happens sometimes, but you're kind of proving my point here, if we're being honest.
I think it should be me. I think that if I don't make it back, I've already done everything that I can. Billy's a better trainer than I am now. But he's still going to need you, Estelle. At the gym. When things go back to normal.
An evil idea. Um,
I cue like making a decision, and then both of the other people try to at the same time throw them out of the teleporter at the last possible second, but then they but they just sort of collide in midair.
This is going to
I
turn into a
planned that
fist
like
fight.
10 minutes ago.
I was like, what? I got ready to be like, what are the PvP rules?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, mm. Ooh,
Well, tell you what, you can either come to a decision, or you can all decide that you're going to try to pile in together. It's up to you.
I am considering hypnosis, which will put people to sleep.
I will say this. I will say that out of character, Julian is not expecting deception or guile from either of you.
That just seems odd after knowing Estelle as long as you have. You literally mentioned that time I convinced you to go through.
And yet he
All
keeps falling for it.
Yeah.
No one ever accused Julian of being too smart.
I think I am gonna do that. Let's roll off. Let's see who gets it.
What are you doing? Are you hypnotizing him?
I was gonna, yeah. So I guess
Okay.
let's roll off, and I was gonna hypnotize you guys to sleep, and then Billy and I are gonna do, I don't know, Rochambeau until we figure out who's
No,
going.
you both have psychic that you can roll against each other.
We can. Let's.
I also specifically have a Pokemon that can cure status effects. I'm just throwing it out there if you're trying to put me to sleep.
I also I can roll cooking against their psychic stat,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Are we rolling? Are we rolling tactics? Are we doing this?
Are you acting before the portal's open?
Is the portal open? We're making.
Yeah, because the portal's not currently open, I don't think.
I thought the professor was asking us, like, in preparation.
So, I mean,
like,
yes, he
right.
is.
So you're acting before it's been open.
I was just thinking I was going to knock you guys out.
Okay.
Like,
no, because Billy was going to wait till it was open.
And then just like bum rush it.
Something like that. I'm not giving away my plans yet. But...
So
as if plans.
Julian, thinking that it's already been decided, Julian will say, he'll point to the professor and he'll say, "Do it. I'm ready to go."
Well, all right. Hold on to your butts.
Hypnosis.
And I might be rolling. I don't know. Brendan, tell me what I'm rolling. I assume Estelle is rolling the psychic thing.
Do we want to roll tactics first?
We're rolling tactics, deciding order of operations. What is happening here?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like
You
that.
know, that is a fair point. Why don't we have each of you guys roll tactics to kind of establish in what order these things go on the stack?
Well,
Oh, watch Billy just wreck this.
ooh.
Oh.
All right. So that is going to be. I'm going to say that.
I mean, we have 2 luck in the pool.
I was wondering. I was thinking about that. Like I was like, I don't know if I could claim that.
All right, so that's
Narratively,
that.
I don't think it should be Julian, but in character, Julian is convinced it should be him. Because he has a bad savior complex.
What this is doing? Okay, so
Billy's
one of those
plan
explodes.
was going to be to have Ling Ling get in one of your way, Aster get in the other one's way, and jump through a Shiloh. Because this has kind of been what Shiloh's been ramping up to.
13 plus 5, because one of them exploded, so that's
Jesus.
18 to hypnosis. To put someone
I'm
to sleep.
hypnosist.
Yeah.
I'm confident I cannot stop that.
You're confident you cannot stop that. All right. Billy, you want to roll off again? So Billy, what happens is you see Julian like turns towards the portal and says, hit it. The professor goes, hold on to your hats, and
His butts.
I was okay, well. So then Estelle just very calmly and with that same sadness in her eyes just says, Mr. Mimic, hypnosis. And Julian drops asleep. should we roll off again for you and me, or do you want to take your action?
So
Because
at this
actually, you
point,
haven't acted yet.
yeah.
if you
So
wanna
at this
act.
point, Estelle has acted, and now it's Billy's action, technically.
The portal's active.
Yes.
Um, I think Billy's just gonna look at Estelle, and there was like a passing look beforehand between him and Shiloh that the others might not have caught. And Billy's just gonna look at Estelle and goes, "Well, that's a gentler way of doing, I suppose. Shiloh, teleport." And he's gonna grab Shiloh and teleport into the portal with Shiloh. His other Pokemon are still there, but just him and Shiloh teleport into the portal.
Yeah, you hear like a completely broken sound of like just denial from Estelle.
All right. And Billy, you and Shiloh teleport yourself into the pod, and you just barely materialize inside in time for you see your vision starts to pixelate as you and Shiloh go somewhere else. And the last thing you see in the room that you notice is, as everyone is focused on you, you see behind them, just outside the kitchen window, somebody standing there. And the next thing you know, you are walking through mist, through a thick fog, gradually sort of rolls away from you, clinging to every surface, almost seeming to peel away like static. In fact, the fog almost has this kind of consistency of television tuned to a dead channel.
What do you call it, soupy?
And you have the impression of being on a street. There are buildings around you, or at least they might be buildings. There are just freestanding walls that don't necessarily seem to connect to one another. Eventually, you even see that there are just ceilings suspended on air. You're surrounded by street signs, painted advertisements, glowing neon, but all curling in on themselves in twisted characters that signify nothing. And you realize that at last, yeah, you're here. You're in Glitch City. And that's where we're going to end it.
How mad is Julian going to be that I knocked him?
In character, he's going to be very angry, but he's also going to be like, I should have seen that coming.
These were consequences I didn't expect to have to deal with. I'm going to be honest.
Constantly underestimating this old woman.
I wasn't intending on being here to experience the consequences.
I expected to be in the portal.
Well, thank you everyone so much for tuning in this evening. If you watched, if you donated, honestly, it means the world to us, genuinely. Everything that we do benefits a really great cause, and we would not be able to make any of that happen without you guys. So are we back at all later this week, Will?
You're not. It's pretty quiet. We're doing a session 0 on Sunday, so no Sunday stream. So we won't be back until next Tuesday for class reunion.
All right, very cool. You should come check out. So here, same time next week for Will's Isekai D&D game class reunion. It is a very good time with a lot of very cool, very funny players in it. If you would like to know when we are going to be going live next and what we are up to, you can follow us on the Cursed Bird app at Live from the APOC. Should be right up there on screen. Or you can also join our Discord community, which is full of a lot of awesome and friendly people and is generally just kind of a great place. If I do say so myself, maybe I'm biased. We do community nights on there as well, where we play games together off stream or watch bad movies. And it's generally just kind of a neat group of people. If you'd like to get to know us better, we would genuinely love to have you. I think that is enough talking from me, so thank you all so much again. We're going to be disappearing in just a second, but do not go away because we're going to be raiding one of the many other great TTRPG creators here on Twitch. So please be friendly, say hi, and tell them that Live from the Apocalypse sent you.
We are going to, I'm very excited about this one. We're going to raid Manapod Studios, who we sometimes raid, they're friends, but they are streaming a Fast and the Furious game.
Family. It
says lasers and feelings, so I can only assume that the two stats are fast and furious.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
roll fast,
so
roll
good.
furious.
I have to go to bed. Why did you tell me that this exists?
Listen, one of the characters is named Negroni Spagliato, so I'm just very excited about
I
that.
cannot decide if I hate that or love it unconditionally.
Negroni is a gin drink, so I love it. Let's go.
There are 2 raid messages in the chat. If you happen to be subscribed, you can copy paste the first one. If you're not, feel free to grab the second one with the raccoons. But we're going to disappear in a second, and we're going to hop over to Manapod Studios. And I think on that note, we are going to say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Cool.